weights, have those close by. I'm going to pop those at the end of my mat here. And as always, I love to start just getting the fascia rinsed out, getting the prana, the life force moving around our body. So hang on, is my head cut off, you guys? Sort of? Or am I all right?
You're in the picture, but by a millimetre.
Okay, I'm just 2 minutes, just turning up a little bit. That might be a bit better.
Are you recording this one? I can't remember.
What was that?
Have you recorded it?
Am I? Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I think I am anyway. All right, so palms forward, bum behind you, soft knees, and we're just doing the rinse. So we're getting the heels off the ground, chin is in, you've got the kitten neck, so it feels like the scruff of your neck has been lifted by a mother cat. And then if that's okay on the pelvic floor, we're getting a bit of height underneath the heels. If not, we just have bum slightly behind us, so intra-abdominal pressure is going on the lower belly, pubic bone, rather than straight on the pelvic floor. And I'm going to get you to breathe in deeply. And then go, empty the lungs. That's it, beautiful. Breathing in deeply, chin drawn back. Giant breath in. Let's move our knees across from side to side, swiveling from the hip joints. Good. Alrighty, take those feet a little bit wide. I'm just going to get you to take a nice deep double breath in and then release the breath out. Now your heels are pushing down into the ground, and as you come up, you push slightly out with your feet. So the outer edge of your feet is pressing into the mat, and the inner arch of your foot is not dropping down. So you've got a bit of space. And we want to open up the rib cage, open up the intercostal muscles between the ribs, and do a double breath in. So you breathe in, and then you breathe in again, and then you breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and again. Good. Lateral stretch up and over, and then down. Lateral stretch up and over, down. So we want to open up those ribs even more. Do it relatively fast. Keep your weight even through your heels. Keep your behind behind you, your sitting bones. The bones underneath your bum muscles, they are spread out. Yeah, so there's no pushing forward with the pelvis. Bum is behind. All right, a little bit faster. Pull down, make a fist, pull down. Use your biceps, get your elbow pulling down. Try not to lean forward too much. You keep your head stacked on top of your neck and pull down, opening up and also starting to tone the side waist muscles. Keep those legs evenly bent so that we're starting to really work thigh muscles as well. And pull down. Puff the breath out. Every time we puff the breath out, with pursed lips, we keep the diaphragm high. We get the pelvic floor muscles lifting. And 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Rinse, and rinse, and rinse. So you can open up the palms of your hands. Stretch your fingers, your phalanges, and I'm going to get you to just focus here on making sure that your pelvis is slightly moving. So that hip bone's going forward, that one is going forward, that one's going forward, that one's going forward. Whew. Very good. And then into the legs a bit more. So dropping down. We're just going to switch our tail from side to side, get into the hip joints here. We're going to do a lot of strengthening into those hip joints again today, into the thighs, into the glutes. And then switch. I'm going to get you to switch across and then switch across. Switch across, pull toes back, switch across. So slow down. It's switching, knees bent. Don't let it drop in. outside of the foot is pressing down, heel is dropping down. Pull those toes back. Open up the heart center as well. And then swap to the other side. Good. If you know this movement, maybe speed it up. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. If you niche this movement, slow it down. Make sure that naughty knee doesn't drop in. Pressing down through the outside of your foot. A little bit of coordination. That's it. Now one more. Very good. Give your pelvis a nice big swell. One direction. Other direction. One direction. And other direction. Okay, grabbing your grip. We're just going to switch on our balance and make sure our pelvis is nice and even. So, brick on the ground. If you have a handy wall close, you might just put a fingernail on that wall. Heel of the foot on the brick. Doesn't matter if the toes drop off. Okay, so first of all, we're going to get into our Tadasana. So I want you to make sure that you are in great alignment. You're not pushing your pelvis forward. Your head is stacked on top of your neck. Shoulders are down, base of the ribcage slightly back. So we're not lifting up through the chest. And then take your bottom foot off the ground and just make sure your feet are even and the pelvis is even. So just feel at the top of the hip joints here. That's nice and even. All right, so what we're going to do is drop that foot down. So like a seesaw, we go into this diagonal plane here, and then we're going to push firmly down into the brick to lift this hip up, and then let it drop down again. So we're pushing the heel into the ground in order for this hip to hike up, pushing down, and this one comes up. Like a fulcrum, like that. Woo. Maybe a fingernail on the wall for balance. Now, do a little puffy breath out with the action. So that we also get our deep pelvic floor at the front and our deep transverse abdominal muscles switching on as we come up. All of these stabilizing muscles around the pelvis feed into our deep core muscles and push. Woo. And 3, and 2, and 1. Push down, push down, push down. Drop off. Elvis twist to release this hip joint. So on this leg here, up on these toes, drawing the knee in, drawing the knee out. Drawing the knee in, drawing the knee out. You're on your big toe here, swiveling. And then add in the arms. So we get another little rinse out with the spine. Fantastic to wake up the nervous system. Also a really, really great toner for the hips, sorry, for the waist. So release, 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 release. Whew, good. Other side. Standing on your brick, pushing your heel into the brick. So most of the weight's in the heel. Make sure you are nice and even to start off with. And then we're dropping that side down and we're pushing into the brick. In order to lift this left hip up, I push the right heel down. I like to imagine there is a plug in the heel of the foot, you know, just like a plug that goes into the socket, and you're pushing the prongs down into an imaginary socket in the brick. Push down. Push. So we want to mobilize the rotator muscles around the hip joint, but we also really, really need to focus on stabilizing and strengthening here as well. And 3, and 2, lose my balance, and 1, push, 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 push down, hold, 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 and then drop off, and this time, exactly, and then in and out, and in and out, and see if you can give it a little bit of a rinse. This is such a great movement for us to do on a regular basis. So I do the T-break twist and twirl when you put your kettle on. Do some of these. Do some hip circles. Whew. Very good. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to just get you to come over to the front of your mat for a moment. Keep it with you. So we'll do a sun salutation so we can get into the hamstrings and start to open up the back, work into the back muscles. Feet facing straight forward, toes wide. Give yourself hobbit feet. Nice big spread out feet. Soft knees. Soften down. Breathe in, breathe in. Exhale, hands above the knees. Now we're going to push ourselves into tabletop for a moment and pause. Chin is in. Back is straight. Base of the rib cage is in. You're pushing down and out with your feet. We're lifting and spreading the sitting bones. Getting into these hamstrings. Give them a little rub. Good. And then we're just going to flow down. And then inhale, come back up. Shoulders away from ears. Base of the rib cage in. Back muscles activated. Sitting bones spreading. Exhale down. Inhale. Nice and strong. Power pose here. Exhaling. One more. Inhale. Pause. Chin is in. Back is straight. Good. Exhaling down. Now we're going to walk ourselves to down dog. Nice wide hands. Fingers are spread. Keep your sitting bones high. Imagine someone's got your tail as you walk your feet back. And they are pulling your tail up towards the intersection of the wall and the ceiling. Nice spread out hands. Keep your heels off the ground for a moment. Roll shoulders away from your ears. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. We want to pull the vertebra apart. Imagine you are on the rack and you're stretched. Now start to push those heels down one at a time. Do a little dance with your feet. Walking the feet towards each other. And then out. We want to massage into those calf muscles. Open up the hamstrings. Get into the Achilles. And also just get the soles of the feet waking up. Let's drop the knees across the midline. So one knee dropping across the midline of the body towards the other side of your mat. And then the other side. Get into the hips. All right, bit of strength. I'm going to get you to come up onto your heels. Breathe out your puffy breath so it feels like you're blowing out a candle. As you do so, it feels like your lower belly is scooping up towards your rib cage as you bring yourself forward, weight bearing through wrists and shoulders. And then we'll just draw ourselves back again, bend the knees. Breathing out, scooping, holding this for a moment. So you're scooping your back up towards the ceiling. And then back, one more. Breathing out, slowly coming forward. I want to keep these shoulder joints strong as well. And then come down. Good. Bend the knees onto the ground. Extended child pose to release. Fingers on the mat, wrists off the mat. Stretch that spine. Open up the armpits. Get that lymph moving around the breast tissue. Make sure that you're really focusing your breath on the lower lobes of your lungs here. Very good. Okay, slowly coming up, I'm going to get you to actually no, first of all, before we come forward, fists underneath shoulders. On your fists here. Elbows are slightly bent. Tuck your toes. Now, before we come into this deep transverse abdominal muscle activation, I want you to just do a little bit of a pelvic floor lift so it feels like you're stopping yourself weeing, and you zip up that activation towards your tummy button. So do a couple of those, zipping up, release. Breathe out through pursed lips. Okay, so activate, elbows bent, keep puffing your breath out. Imagine the ceiling has fallen down and it is resting on your back. So you can't be dipped, you can't be hunched, you've got to be flat. Now we're going to push the floor away with our fists, straighten the elbows, and see if you can suck your knees slightly up off the mat. So I like to do a little, kind of a flap with my knees, like pulse them, while away the time. Little puffy breaths out. And then drop. Good. Unfurling those toes. take your left foot forward. All right, so this might be where you need your weight. It's going to switch on back of the arms. First of all, though, let's come into a lunge, opening up the hip flexors, quadriceps, shoulders away from ears. Nice deep breath in. Let your shoulders slide down your back. And then switch your hands back and pull your toes with you, opening sitting bones. One more hamstring stretch. Alrighty, so grabbing weights. If you haven't got weights, don't worry. Still a good workout on your legs. Claire, you might want to take half a blanket, place it under the front of your foot, just so we're not going into knee and shin at all. We're really working the muscles just above the knees. So we're here. As we breathe out, puff your breath out, we push the heel into the ground, push ourselves up. We drop down. Now I'm turning my hands as I come up. So first of all, weights are forward and the fingers are facing outwards. And then as I come up, I'm swiveling and my wrists are forward and my fingers are back. And the back of my hands are back, if that makes sense. Breathing out. So this work is actually all happening through the heel of that front foot. Getting into the hamstrings, getting into the muscles above the knee, getting into the hip joints, strengthening there, and then a little bit of a bitty bonus. Whew. Working on the upper back muscles, back of the shoulders. Help us with our posture, breathing out, and then breathing out. Now, come forward. So, I'm going to get you this, to pause here. So your chest is near your front knee, elbows in. Pulse the arms back. The elbows are very close to your rib cage, and you're squeezing your triceps. So the back of the arms, squeezing, pressing the hands and your weights behind you. Pressing down through this front heel still. So I am really feeling this in my front leg. Whew. And one more. Ha. Good. Swap sides. Heart rate is up. Okay. Let's just drop those for a moment. Give ourselves a nice stretch. This is a nice bit. Breathe. Opening up. Stretching into those core muscles as well. And then swing yourself back. Toes nice and spread here. Sitting bones spread. So I always like to imagine your sitting bones are sliding along two sides of a triangle. All right, here we go. If you're using weights, grab them, elbows close in. Put your weight through that front heel. And then you plug the heel in and you come up and down. Plug downwards as you come up. Breathe out as you come up. And feel your deep core muscles activating. We're going right into the back of our core, the multifidi muscles around the spine as well. So this is a fantastic activation for our posture. Whew, as well. Press and press and 3, 2, and 1. Coming forward. Take a breather. So I'm on a little diagonal here. Shoulders are right down, elbows are in. Pressing back, pressing back, pressing back, pressing back into the back of the arms. Whew, whew, whew. So many of us have tight pectoral muscles, the front of the shoulders, and very weak in the upper back muscles. 3, 2, 1. Let's drop those. Let's stretch out and downward dog. Tap your back toes. Roll yourself into downward facing dog. Shoulders rolling away from your ears. It's amazing, isn't it? Down dog becomes a rest pose. Keep the sitting bones high. Stretch out underneath the armpits. Roll the shoulders away from your ears so you can get a full shoulder stretch. Breathe in and go, ho. a big breath out. Very good. We're nearly done. Keep going. Now bend your knees, walk your feet forward. Okay, so our feet are going straight forward. Now I'm going to roll the shoulders away from our ears and drop down into chair pose, Utkatasana. Take a moment just to feel into the pose, and then if you're using weights, we'll grab those. So Utkatasana is here. Sometimes I like to put a brick. You know, if you're finding that you drop your knees in, put a brick between your knees. So again, we're pushing down and slightly out with our feet. Chair pose. This is like having an espresso coffee. Big breath. Focus your breath on the lower lobes at the back of your lungs. Shoulders are away from ears. Lift your eye gaze, but keep your chin drawn back in. All right. Now I'm going to grab my weights. Come back into chair pose with my legs. And then, with the puffy breath out, we are powering up. And then back, behind us, weight is in the heels. Powering up by pushing down. Plug the heels into the ground and down. Plug those heels down. Just focus on your feet pushing down and your body will come up. Breathing out. Breathing out. Good. This is so good for our glutes. Whew. Feeding into the pelvic floor muscles. And as we take our arms up, whew, we're going right into those deep transverse abdominals, multifidi muscles at the back. This is a whole core workout. And one more. Woo! Very good. Just drop those weights. If you start some backward swimming. Backward swimming. And maybe even fast backward swimming. So this is like whole shoulder girdle. Windmilling your arms. Far out. That was a bit ambitious today. I'm knackered. Okay. And then do a nice easy triangle. And then a little balance. You can make this as big or as restorative as you like. If you've got a bit of wall, it's quite nice. We're just going to do triangle and then half moon. I'm going to use my brick. Okay, triangle first of all. So feet just a meter apart. Both feet heading in that direction. Back foot 45 degrees. Keep your legs straight for this. Arms out, shoulders are down. Fingers are alive. Palms are alive. Turn your head. Polish the table. Push that hand out. This back hand draws up. If it doesn't feel good on your shoulder, just hand on hip. Hand just lands wherever, yeah? Now, drop your back shoulder in, sorry, your bottom shoulder in as your top shoulder comes back. We want to make sure this back hip is rolling forward as well. So we're not cranking that hip open. We're letting this hip drop forward, pubic bone dropping down towards the ground. Let's take the hand up and over. Stretch the side waist. Good. So while we're in these nice kind of more restorative, well, they are restorative now poses, I want you to go back to your Ujjayi breath or Ujjayi breath in and sigh the breath out through your mouth on the exhalation. Hand down by your hip, drop the head for a moment, stretch into the neck muscles, those scalenes. Look at your brick. So we're going to half moon. So bending into the front knee. Now we're not going to go straight in, so we're going to do a little bit more strengthening. Hand on your brick, little toe edge, about a foot away. Now come forward, put all of the weight in that bent front leg, yeah? Press down through the heel. We're going to do some little pulses, squeezing this top glute in order to let that back leg lift off the ground. Squeeze, squeeze, going to gluteus maximus and medius. Now, leave that leg up and push the floor away so we straighten the standing leg. And then you might bend your elbows, sweep your elbow and your hand up towards the ceiling. And then see if you can lift that back leg a tiny bit more. We are stretching the spine. I don't know if my balance is good today. I can look at you, great. Okay, so you might even swivel your head to look forward. Just don't look at me because I'm wobbling a bit. So Toes and the crown of your head are pulling apart, and you're pressing down through the heel of that standing leg. So it's a decent stretch on the hamstring as well. You can always slightly bend the standing leg. And then when we come out of this, so no rush to come out. We want to stay here as long as possible. Actually, it's a fantastic recalibration for our spine, great for our posture. But when we do come out, bend yourself into a little acorn, a little ball, and then push the floor away evenly and roll yourself up. Restack, and just take a moment. Now, I feel the whole of the side of the body has got to work out, and this side needs doing to be even. But you can feel that, honestly, I feel like I'm taller on this side. So let's even ourselves out. Let's grab the brick, put it on the other side. Whew. Who said yoga asana is easy, hey? Let's take our feet just hip width apart, sorry, a metre or so apart initially. Back toes 45 degrees. Arms out, shoulders relaxed, eye gaze relaxed. So nice relaxed muscles around your eyes. Back hip rolls forward slightly, like a train wheel, choo-choo, like that. Front arm stretch forward, drop the hand wherever it lands, and then unfurl fingers towards the ceiling. Now, we want to get a bit more of a thoracic spine twist here. Great for heart health. Drop the bottom shoulder in, top arm slightly back. Yeah, so just pause here. Tail is going in that direction, crown of the head in that direction. Lovely rinse for the spine. And then just take the hand up and over. That's it. And then all the way back. Let's get that head a little stretch through the neck. Swivel to look down. Now you know what's coming. Bend into the front knee. So first of all, we're doing a bit more work here into the glute. Brick is on the little toe edge, about a foot away. And you can take it onto the high side, low side, whatever suits. Now, first of all, we just want to squeeze this top glute in order to lift the foot off the ground. Squeezing there. Maybe you can put your hand on your bum so you can make sure that it's actually doing some work. And now leave the glute activating. Push this heel into the ground. Start to straighten this bottom leg. This top arm here, maybe we take the elbow up towards the ceiling and then the hands up towards the ceiling. And then if our balance is feeling okay, maybe swiveling the head. Now, look at this. I've got a handy wall here, so I can just hold the wall. Just mix it. This is lovely. So crown the head, pulling in one direction, toes pulling in the other direction. You do need to be kind of active through this bottom leg, so slight bend through the knee, pushing the heel into the ground. And then when your body goes, thanks, but that's enough, then come into that little acorn shape, bending into that standing leg. So dropping down and then all the way up. Take a moment in Tadasana. So we have our head stacked on top of our neck, shoulders are down, base of the rib cage dropping back. We're not flaring. Pelvis in neutral, sitting right on top of knees and on top of ankles. Feet pushing down evenly, slightly outwards, so inner arches are not dropping in. Just take a moment to feel underneath the skin surface of the whole of your body. Beautiful. Take those feet wide. Take a nice deep, slow double breath in. Slow the breath out. Double breath in. Good. Just take your elbows on the inside of the knees. We're pressing the knees apart, so we stretch into the inner thighs, up into the glutes. Make sure you are leaning forward, sitting bones are nice and wide. So all of the weight of our organs, like 20 pounds, is going onto our pubic bone and our lower belly, not on our pelvic floor. So just slightly moving forward. There we go. I'm going to come down onto the ground. So do this as gracefully as you possibly can. Maybe not like that. Hands just behind you. Shoulders pulling to the back of the socket so you can stretch here. And then just let your knees go from side to side. Swivel. Swivel. That's the way. Swivel. Swivel. All right, lying onto your backs for a moment. Ankle, right ankle on top of left knee. Bring the left knee in. Good stretch into that right glute. Give it a pat. Yeah, we love a pat. Pat the bum. I like to do a little rock across the sacrum as well. So you might want to massage into your sacrum. Ah, good. Well done. All right, let's go a little bit deeper into this one. So as we rock to the left, have your little toe edge of the left foot drop down onto the ground and then just pause. See if you can draw this top knee a little bit closer to you to get right into that right glute. And then one knee on top of the other knee going into your full twist. Turning the head to face the other side. If that doesn't feel good on your spine, just drop your knees a little bit further away from you. And if you are wanting to stretch a bit more, take the top foot out, grabbing hold of your ankle or your calf or maybe even your toes. And we're going now into that sciatic nervy stretch that goes right up that IT band into your bum. Very good. Good. And then bring yourself back into the center. Cobbler for a moment. Massage the ankles. Press the forearms into the inner thighs. Just pausing here. Wriggle your jaw. Other side. Ankle on top of knee. Draw the knee in. Oh, that's a good stretch, hey? And then just a little massage if you like to do this version across the spine, across the sacrum. So we've been working the upper back muscles, back of the arms, and very much the little multifidi muscles, which are part of our whole corsetry. So now as we rock from side to side, we're just giving them a massage. It's quite nice. And then little toe edge of this foot, my right foot, dropping to the ground. Almost going into a twist, but not quite. This hip lifts off the ground and it just makes the whole thigh stretch even stronger. Good. And then we're just going to, I have to swivel here, come into a full spine twist. And if you've got space, maybe even taking this top leg out, I have to swivel. And now we go into that nervy, horrible nervy stretch on the outside of the leg. Fabulous. Oh, late. Sorry, guys. Come back onto your back. Baby pose to finish. It's a good idea to give yourself a baby pose every day. Massage across your spine again. Drop your knees down to your armpits. Let your belly be relaxed. Wriggle your jaw. Take some sighing breaths out. Just let all the muscles around your eyes be very relaxed here. Muscles between the brows be relaxed. So we've done a fair bit of activation on these stabilizing muscles around the pelvic floor. So we then are obviously activating the pelvic floor muscles too. So just a good idea too. And to tell you what, just notice now, are you actually still clenching around the anus? Yeah, so just notice. If you are, relax, relax. Flower the anus. Very good. Arms and legs up. Give it a little jiggle. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. Take yourself into a little ball. Rock and roll up your spine, rebooting the whole computer system. All the nerves of the body connected to the spine. So this is such a lovely practice. And then we're coming all the way up. Good, good, good. Alrighty, give your upper body a big swirly swish. Head and shoulders, swirl it all, swirl it all, swirl it all. And then restack. Head, bang on top of neck. Take that right arm straight across, keep it straight. Left arm bent, pulling the arm towards you, and you're trying to counter by pushing the straight arm out. Just give your neck a little stretch. Stretch into those shoulders. Deep breath in. Let the shoulders drop. Take the arms out. Stretch these chest muscles. And then the other arm forward. Lock it into place. Pulling out with the straight arm, pulling in with the bent arm. Little tilt over the head. Very good. Let's take those hands down for a moment. Feel your spine. Breathe up from your tail right up through the spinal column, right up to the crown of the head. And then as you exhale in your mind's eye, just let that breath flow back down again. And again, up the spine to the crown of the head. And exhaling down. Turn the palms to face the ceiling. Imagine you've got fresh, vibrant energy pouring into the palms of your hands. And as you inhale, we're pulling that energy. So open the palms, pull that energy up, double breath in. Roll your eyes so you're looking upwards. Hold the top of the breath, hold the top of the breath, hold the top of the breath. And then go, Simba. Well done, you guys. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.
Thank you.